Can you hear me, dude?
I can hear you now.
It did the same thing it did last time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's gonna mute you. So when I do it again, just watch your little mute button and then press the
Hell
mute button
yeah.
thing. Okay, dude. Okay.
UFO Garage.
This is another episode of UFO Garage. It's totally topless two-topic Tuesday.
I'm Ben.
I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about UFOs, aliens, and all things weird.
All things weird, baby.
We're gonna figure that out one of these days.
Oh yeah, I should have made it longer.
Hell yeah.
That was my B, dude.
So hey, there's a couple different things today, right?
A couple different things.
The first thing, the elephant in the room that I'd like to discuss with everybody right now. Let's get it out of the way. Yes, it's Tuesday. We know. Okay, yeah. It's Tuesday.
Monday was yesterday, and today's just another day.
And today's Tuesday. Also, we're topless, dude. It's totally topless two-topic Tuesday. And on Totally Topless two-topic Tuesdays, we're gonna have two topics that we like to discuss. Totally topless.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll have guests. Sometimes we won't. Sometimes it'll just be us dudes just talking about some cool stuff topless, right?
Yeah.
I like it, dude.
But I'll be topless though.
You're gonna yes. What Ben said, he's gonna be topless.
So just letting you know. But just think about that for the future, that we could talk about two topics, but also be topless.
Yeah, it's clever. It's clever. So this one's gonna be a little bit different. Usually during the show, we go down rabbit holes. We have like these long, drawn out conversations about burritos and stuff. But this is going to be a little bit different. Yeah. This is going to be, this is the first one that we've done. So we're not really too sure. But I'm thinking maybe like a 30-minute segment where we get into some stuff. It stays serious. We stay on topic and we do the damn thing, have a little fun with it.
We're just trying to figure stuff out, That's what we're trying to do.
All right. Well, do you want to get this started or what?
Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's bring in our guests, Jaimie and Bri, from That One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens. What's up, ladies?
Hello. Welcome to Topless Tuesdays. This is such a good idea.
I know. It's going to be fun. We're excited. We're excited to have y'all here with us.
We are super excited to be here.
Yeah, we love you guys. So it's going to be a great Tuesday.
You sound so excited, Bri.
We're so excited. We're so super serious.
Oh, no. Man. You should feel happy because we were like, you know what? Nobody's ever going to be down to do anything like this with us. And we were like, wait a second. Bri and Jaimie might. So y'all were the first ones to pop into our heads, honestly.
What's funny is you guys texted me at like 1 o'clock in the morning my time, which I know is like 3 a.m. your time. So when you first texted me, I was like, they have had some of the devil's lettuce and they are being creative. I know a good conversation is about to happen. And I probably texted you guys back in like 2.5 seconds. And I was like, yep, let's go. Let's do it.
Yes.
I know. When she called me the next day and told me, I was like, okay, this is new. I like thinking outside of the box. Okay.
Yeah.
Ben and I called each other the next day and had that exact same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, I remember talking to you on the phone, Jaimie. I was like, hey, are you up? Me and Joe have a crazy idea. I'm like, hope your boyfriend doesn't try to come over here and beat me up.
No, honestly, he was like, you're going to do what? He's like, okay, then. All right. Live your life. And I was like, well, thank you, sir.
Yes. Yeah. My wife was like, that's going to be so good. That's a great idea. You're going to hit like a whole different audience that we didn't even know existed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we'll see.
My wife had the same exact reaction. She was like, well, when do I come in? When can I come by for my cameo?
Damn, everyone's partner was so supportive besides mine, I guess.
He wasn't not supportive. He just gave you a weird fatherly look. Like, what's going on over here?
He like busted in the room, like looked over, was like looking at me so weird. It's okay.
You were like, I'm doing this for you.
I was like, hey, if we're millionaires, that's fine. And he was like, no.
No, I heard her. She goes, we're fighting equality.
No way.
Let's go do this because I love you.
Oh my
For-
god, that's exactly what I said. We're fighting equality. It's for sexism.
That's
I
what
mean,
we do here,
yeah.
right? That's what we're
Yeah.
known for.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if we're known for that.
I was like,
That's totally what we're known for.
Oh, okay. Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Well, anyways,
shit, let's
let-
get into it, dude. Let's get
let's do it. Let's
get to the
Yeah,
first
get right into
topic.
it.
Ladies, you guys heard me at the beginning. You also kind of know about the topics. We're going to run down 2 topics, and we're going to spend about 15, maybe 20 minutes on each and just kind of throw around some opinions. If you know some answers, give some answers, right? Because it's all questions and what ifs, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Perfect. Let's get this
Into it.
going. All right. So the first one, I came across a post. I found it to be pretty interesting, and I had a lot of mixed feelings about it. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinions and see what you thought. So the post is basically about this guy, right? And he says that he's a member of the ERT, which is the Experiencer Resource Team. It's a sort of a MUFON that does nothing but speak to people who suspect that they may have had contact. Well, MUFON just issued a stern edict that completely strips all confidentiality assurances from the ERT, along with other major negative changes. Experiencers will no longer be allowed to contact the ERT directly for safe and private conversation with someone knowledgeable, for some advice and for help, and for a friendly ear. MUFON will now require all experiencers to publicly post a formal and detailed general sighting report with their personal contact information on it. And regular nuts and bolts field investigators will now handle these folks. The field investigator is now totally in charge and will decide if he or she will even let the experiencer talk to an ERT member like myself. So just going from there, I would like to get more clarification on the story.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to like dive into it 100%, which is kind of how everybody's life is, right? So on the top, well, at face value, when we're kind of reading this, you know, my emotions kind of went kind of both ways, and I sat on it and I thought about it, and then my mind kind of swayed back the other way a little bit. But I think we can all kind of assume like where our emotions will probably lie in this conversation. But let's go ahead and we'll just start with, well, Ben, let's start with you, right? Let's see what your thoughts are on this.
I mean, if I were going to be talking to anybody about an experience I had, it would definitely prevent me from releasing any information, especially like my face and my name and just intimate details. Like I personally haven't experienced this, but I do know others that have experienced really traumatic stuff. So you're being very vulnerable. And for that to be an open public resource that anybody can access, you know, you're like your employer or your neighbor. I'd rather not have that associated with my name on the internet. I would think that an establishment such as MUFON, I mean, maybe we don't know the full story, but I would assume like based on this new development that it does feel like there's a window of vulnerability that you're leaving out there and accessible that maybe not everybody would want. Like it doesn't, like it would make me not ever want to contact MUFON. Like, and again, I might be right. That might be not be the full story. That's how
it's almost a sense of security that you no longer feel like you have, right?
Yeah.
Well, it almost seems like too that this what's the letters for it? The
AOIMSG?
No, not that one.
No, what is that?
Love
No, the
MSG.
ERT.
The
the ERT.
ERT. Okay, so it sounds like the ERT
Experiencers
too.
Resource Team.
It seems like what they're kind of doing is like counseling these people. So it's almost like they have this doctor patient confidentiality between the two where you can talk about these traumatic things. And when you're stripping that away, and it seems like they're trying to come at it from a much more like they're trying to analyze it. So they want information and data and not the private parts of the conversation. And sometimes people are reporting different things to an investigator and something different to somebody who they're just kind of like letting their trauma out into. So I think that if they do that, it's going to change the way that they gather information. It's going to make it so much more analytical and so much more about the numbers and things. It's going to take away the personal part of the experience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. Bri, how
such
about
a good point too, Ben, that an employer, especially now that things are becoming ufology is kind of being a little bit more mainstream these days. I mean, could you imagine being judged by your employer for that? Wouldn't that be interesting if in the future that's something that they actually look for, or if they try to connect that with mental illness or, things like that? That would make me super uncomfortable. I would never go to MUFON at all. And it sucks that they're taking that away from people. And it just reminds me about how there are theories out there that MUFON is actually working with the government, kind of like the person you go to and then they hold all these materials. Like if people send them samples instead of them actually sending it into a lab or, whatever, that they're holding on to those samples and they're not giving them back to the people that sent them in. It just adds another layer of that to me. And I mean, like, we love Jesse, right? Jesse is a known person in the community who's with MUFON. And so nothing, personal to Jesse, but if that was me, absolutely not. I would look for someone else to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Do you think that, obviously we said that, it would make us all uncomfortable to reach out to them to gather this data. And it does seem like you have two different sides of it. One of it is, like you said, Jaimie, kind of pouring your emotions of this experience into somebody and then giving like an investigator like details about an event. Like they're two different things. It almost seems like it would hurt MUFON in the sense that like, okay, we're getting kind of like the numbers, but like what's actually happening to this person is being left out. But do you think that they are possibly saying like, okay, look, this whole thing, as we've all understood, is pretty huge. I mean, when you talk to one person alone can take up so much of your time. Like it's a huge story and it's not something that you can just move on to the next thing, right? You
move on to the next thing.
So maybe it's a way of them separating that time-consuming aspect with the numbers, right?
But it also seems like that there's people within the MUFON community who don't want to stop this and who are taking their free time to talk and communicate with these people. It's not like MUFON is paying any of these people who are a part of MUFON. At the end of the day, you're paying MUFON to do that. So it's interesting because it seems like also that's MUFON cutting off a resource to themselves in the long run, because now you have people who are participating in a certain way and who aren't going to want to do it anymore.
Yeah, it almost, such a good point. Like you're making me think of, there's like two sides to an experience. There's the emotional side, and then there's the nuts and bolts. And it's a lot more, like you said, Joe, time consuming to hear the emotional side of things than it is hearing the nuts and bolts. What happened? What's the real police reports, the numbers, all that. And it almost like maybe it's this move that's kind of under the shoulder. There's a better saying for that. But in a way that they're saying, hey, we don't have enough staff to emotionally support all of these cases. We'd rather we can only afford to do the nuts and bolts side of things instead of being a 24-hour, therapy, because it's like talking to anybody can be a form of therapy, right? Like, so maybe it has something to do with that. Like, Jaimie, you mentioned like we don't get paid, right? Like,
no, it's people just taking their free time. They pay them to do stuff. So,
yeah. Do you feel like maybe? Oh, I'm sorry, Bri, go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it seems like they're almost, in a way, what I feel off that is that they don't really see it as important. The experiencer side, they're not really the experiencer side is equally valid. Kind of like, we don't have, like you're saying, we don't have time for you, so we're just going to focus on nuts and bolts. Then to me, that's saying that it's not as valid as someone else's story that just saw something in the sky, and that is so wrong on so many levels.
So that's then on the flip side, if they were saying, hey, maybe we're trying to put a wedge in between these people because they're getting a lot of good information, and we're just getting the numbers. Maybe if they separate themselves now, they can get that good, juicy, emotional side along with the numbers. What do you think about that? Could that be like maybe a thought process that is going on in their head? Maybe not so much, we don't have time for you. It's more of, hey, we want all of your information instead.
I definitely think that that's an approach. I would love to see if MUFON would come out and make a statement about it, because I think that something that happens a lot with MUFON is they aren't the most forthcoming with information. It's kind of been a big thing in the community that, you know, they are this big data center research point, but it's so hard to get access to some of the information that, yes, you pay into it and you can have access to a lot of it, but there's a lot of it that are behind doors that you cannot get into. And a lot of people have issues with MUFON and how they operate. And so it seems like to me, they're just getting a stronger chokehold than what they have.
I think the biggest problem that I have with the whole situation is, if it is true that they've stripped away any part of your anonymity to stay anonymous while giving a report, I think that is the biggest issue. If you want to stay anonymous, I believe you absolutely should 100% stay anonymous. It's your story. It's your experience. It's something that happened to you. And a lot of times for a lot of people, it seems to be more of a personal journey that they don't want to talk to with other people about. They want to find like 5 or 6 people that they can bounce this shit off of and see if they can figure it out, because they just want to get back to their regular lives. Right. So anonymity seems important for a lot of people.
It does. And I
think that's the biggest thing here.
There's still a stigma around this topic, unfortunately. So when people are talking about personal experiences, they don't necessarily want the people in their life to know about it, because how they would react.
Right.
Yeah. It sounds to me like we need to start a new organization or something.
Yeah,
I know that there's a few out there, but
it's going to be opening some doors for sure, because I mean, the name as big as MUFON, if they're heading in this direction, maybe it's not closing a door, but opening many more. I mean, we always talk about, you know, Dan Warren said this to us, or to me, or to us when he visited us in Austin for this event. He was like, I think where this is heading is death by 1,000 knife stab wounds instead of one big sword. And it's like, it's following this trend of like, who's getting the actual information out there. Jaimie and Bri, I was watching y'all on UCR last night. Great job, by the way. Y'all mentioned that people are not paying attention to the news, taking their information from the news anymore. It's shows like UCR, and that one time I was abducted by aliens, and many, many more shows out there. Like, people are getting their news from many, many different sources and thinking for themselves, or starting to think for themselves, or we're starting to think for themselves. It's almost like it's following that trend where maybe it's a good thing that they're breaking off from doing that. I don't know.
That's a good thought. Actually, I really do like that. You know, sometimes it seems like it's something bad from the beginning, but you know, with every death, there's a new life that's born from that. So yeah, maybe a new organization will come, or I mean, really, I think this is such a big time for ufology. So it's interesting that they're choosing to do this now.
Mm-hmm. It's like, if anything, there's so much more funding and interest in it. Like, why would you stop it?
Right.
Yeah, and people pay just to belong to them. You pay to be a MUFON investigator, and then you pay to be like a part, you know, subscribe to everything that they get, if you get the newsletter and the actual physical form and all of those things. So it's kind of strange to me that they wouldn't have enough funding for that.
Do you think that occasionally, let's face it, like MUFON's had a lot of awesome stuff, right? But they've also had a lot of egg on their face, sometimes very big eggs, ostrich-sized eggs on their face. And so it's not perfect. It's good to have an organization that people can go to, but it's not perfect, right? For me, one of the questions would be, do you think that occasionally MUFON just gets full of people who like want to see aliens, but don't realize that that's not how it works? And so after
it's a lot of work
and months of doing all of this work for free, trying to see aliens, they just start, I don't give a fuck, you know, and like, then you just get like this organization full of people who just don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely.
100%, yeah.
I mean, when we talk to Jesse, it's very evident that he is very serious,
super
about
passionate
this.
about it. Yeah,
for
so
sure.
Passionate, and is really, he does his due diligence, and he wants to really like meet the people, feel them out, boots on the ground kind of situation. But that's because he has true passion, and I think that's a really good point, Joe, because people lose their passion if really that's all that they wanted to do is show up if there's a UFO sighting, when really you're just reporting the data after the fact.
Right.
So I could see them, I could see plenty of people doing that, especially if you have to be the one to put in all of this work.
Information.
And you're the one person really doing everything. Man, it's like, it sounds like, I don't even know. Like, I can't imagine having time for that. It's like, damn.
I know.
That was like your full-time job.
Yeah.
It's crazy how expensive ufology is.
It really is. Yeah.
I've spent so much money.
Yeah. People, I know everyone's like, you're all out here to make money. Like, do you know how much money and time it puts in to do ufology, you guys? This is not a free thing.
Yeah, like the amount of time I dedicate to this topic and the show, I could have a second job and provide and be there for my family. Like
100%.
I could be making double what I make, but I don't because I love this topic.
I
so
love
much.
doing what we do. Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more.
But
that's why we like to hang out with you guys, because at the end of the day, we are J and B and you guys are B and J.
That's right, man.
That is very true.
Cosmically, we are aligned. Nothing is a coincidence.
That's right.
I agree. It's fate that we met, especially in 2020 of all years. It happened to be,
Right at the cutoff point too, man.
Right
that
at it.
was like we
before.
left to go home, and the world was like, "All right, fuck the rest of you. That's it. We're shutting down."
It was almost like the universe was waiting, like, "Hey, one more. I got one more people
thing.
Need to hang out. Just let them hang out." Like,
this is for your future.
Yeah, Lorian Fenton. Damn. Jim Goodall was there. Man, that was such a good time.
Such a good time, man.
Soon. Do it again soon.
I wonder if it's the first time a bunch of UFO people ever got kicked out of a lobby for being rowdy.
Oh my god, for being rowdy.
I know we
got kicked out of the ballroom, we got kicked out of the lobby. Not forcefully, you guys, but they were like came in, they were like, "Hey, you guys, like it's 2 a.m. You need to go to your room. We are done here."
And then Eric was like,
that security guard patted me on the butt. I don't know if
no way.
Yeah, he was like,
give you a little good job, buddy.
I was like, hey.
Remember the security guard guy who started walking away? He started walking away, and then Eric was like, "Well, we can all go to my room." And he turns around, he's like, "No. You have to each go to your individual rooms."
Oh my god!
Everyone go to where you go, and that we need to do that again. We close that place down.
We were like, "Is that some kind of rule?" And he was like, "Yes, it is. It's a rule that we have. You have to go to your room."
Oh my god!
We were like,
there
he's
was
making it up.
So much alcohol that night. Oh my god! I don't even know how many bottles of wine you guys bought.
Too many.
A lot. They didn't have any more.
Yeah, there's no more wine.
Yeah.
That's why we ended up drinking that clear bubbly at the end, because we drank all the wine. Let's see. Okay, so I have a second topic I'd like to get into. We don't have to get into this topic. This is the first one, so I'd like to ask you guys, hey, but do you guys think that there's anything important that you'd like to talk about and get off your chest?
Wow, wow. I like that. Okay.
You see what I did there?
I love that.
I just want to give you guys the opportunity. I mean, it's the first time. This is like a serious conversation. Let's do it type thing. What's important to you? What's something that you wanna talk about maybe?
I think what's really important about this community is the community. And I think that we as a society are really into putting people onto pedestals and making celebrities out of people. And as much as that is fun and great, I think that sometimes we have to dial that back a little bit and start being more collaborative and not thinking, oh, I want everyone to only watch me, or I'm the only one who can give you the information. I think what's important out there is to broaden your horizon and hear everybody's perspective. Whether you agree with it or not, don't have arguments, have really great conversations with people. And I think if we have more of that in the community, that's what's going to further this community.
That's good. I like that. That's important. That's important.
Now that I got that off my chest.
Got that off your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been feeling the same way, I think we just want to make more friends, see less of a division between people. And it's nice when you do make connections with these people. They're really not they're really great people. It just seems to be like sometimes people don't want to do that. So I feel like lately we've been preaching for people that have opposing views to be okay with that.
Mhm.
You know, it's like we've seen a lot of, oh, well, if you don't feel this way, then we can't be friends, or, you know, things like that. Or I don't like you if you don't subscribe to this kind of thing. That's really been, I think, on our hearts a lot lately. So it would be nice if we could all have different opinions and still be cool with each other. You know, it's already such a small community.
Let's not make it
And
smaller.
we will break each other. We'll break it apart if we don't get along, honestly.
Yeah.
I got damn chills. Oh my God.
Well,
Look
we're
at
being
that.
really, listen, we're
Got
being
chill.
vulnerable here, you know?
That's what this is about.
Just what
It's
it's
about
about.
opening up and being vulnerable. I love that
Mhm.
though. You know, I definitely love that because, you know, if we ever find ourselves in a situation like, hey, we always tell everybody, look, we don't have all the answers. You know, we're all learning here. So if anybody were to, you know, ever disagrees with anything that we say, like that's the whole point. By all means, please come on the show and explain your point, because it's obviously something I haven't heard yet.
Yep.
Or it's something that I don't understand to the full effect. So please reach out to me. I think that's the best way that we can extend olive branches to people that maybe don't like you or whatever may be your situation, right? That doesn't happen to me and Ben, man, because everybody likes us, dude.
I believe that. I
just
really
kidding.
do.
Yeah. Oh, we don't know.
I know
there's
that's not true.
There's probably
No.
people that hate our guts, and we
No,
just don't
I-
know.
I don't
But
think
to
so.
those people,
I think that you guys are so loved within the community. I think you guys bring such a great sense of humor, and I think it's so receptive to people. And I think that you guys are such a bright, shining star in this community. Please never stop doing what you're doing.
Shining star.
I wouldn't say the exact same thing to you guys. God.
Oh, thank you.
There's a reason why we all met. I mean, and why we vibe and like to collaborate and do projects like this one.
Yes.
That's why we went with you guys, because like
Mhm.
it's perfect. So man, right back at you on that one. I mean, what's happening is it's almost like you're being overtaken by a wave and you don't really know you're in a wave until you wash up on the shore, and then you're like, oh man, that was really scary, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're in the middle of that tube, you know, it's totally tubey, but like we're just looking up and down and nobody really knows where to go, but we feel
That's
like
true.
this sense of scaredness or apprehensiveness, or like, hey, this is actually like your body's feeling this vibe of this feels good. Let's just keep doing that thing and following the path of least resistance. And this has nothing to do with our shows, but just the thought pattern of the journey that we're all on right now with this topic, because it starts out a little different for everybody and it ends up a little different for everybody. But the middle, I think we're in the middle right now. I'm not sure where everybody is in their timeline, but I don't think we're ever going to get to the end. And why not just have a great time figuring it out?
It's a ride. Yeah, exactly. Like I think that people want some type of finality to UFOs and aliens and stuff, but I don't think that that's half the fun of it. Just like how it's the same thing with life, right? It's not about the death that's important. It's about the life that you lived. It's not about the ending. It's about what you did to get to that point. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. But I think that we live in a time right now that is the perfect moment to be into this topic, because this is where this is all happening, is right now in this time, in this moment. It wasn't 10 years ago, and it might be 10 years from now. It's still happening. But right now we are in the thick of what ufology is.
Do you think?
Thick of it?
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
Thank
Thank you for knowing that.
Hey, do you guys think that that other entities, whether it be interdimensional or physical in this universe, are visiting our planet more often because they also know that we're in the middle of this awesome wave, like in the sweet spot where we're all hanging 10 and just waiting for that trick move?
Yeah,
you think that's why there's been an influx?
I think that's something me and Bri have always said about the phenomenon is you have to have some sort of openness to experiencing it. And collectively, we're very opening to experience those things. So many more people are having experiences with the phenomenon, and people who were having experience before are having them more frequently, I think, because the openness of our planet is just putting out a different kind of frequency than we did even 5 years ago.
For sure. And different experiences too. I think people that used to have just paranormal experiences are now starting to have more ET alien experiences, and I think vice versa.
Mhm.
And so that's cool. So that just means it's something energetic in general is happening. And I think a lot of it has to do with us, for sure. The more that we all open, it's like we're attracting that energy. Like I always used to say, it's that thing of like what you're seeking is seeking you. So I feel like it's both happening and it's all meeting each other, And that's super exciting. It's like we're really in a very important time right now. Feels like we're a part of something. Well, I guess we are.
Mhm. Yeah.
It definitely is.
I feel like we are. I mean, everybody's got a part to play. Some are smaller than others, but equally important.
Yes.
You know?
And we all have our journeys and our paths that we're on, and we figure it out as we go. Like none of us know what we're supposed to be doing. It's just kind of like you jump into it head first and you ride the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more fun though. I mean, even compared to when Jaimie and I first started podcasting, I feel like now looking back, it doesn't even seem like that was a fun time. It's like compared to now, like man, like this is fun. This is very fun. And I don't think it was the same. So I have high hopes for the future. I think as each day goes on, and hopefully we can really pull this community together and really like let's, sing kumbaya and all that stuff. I'm
Mhm.
down for that. Really. I
Mhm.
think now that should be almost just as important as researching. I feel like is bringing us all together.
Love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Love is love.
Love is
So
good.
it seems like the running theme for this evening is basically like, look, help each other, extend olive branches whenever you can.
Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable.
We're
Stay
all in this
naked.
together.
Yeah, keep the positivity up. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's like that could be a running thing. Anything negative that comes at you this year, hop on it, confront it. And if it's still negative
sure.
afterwards, then you sweep it under the rug and you move on, right? We all
Uno
gotta-
reverse card on that motherfucker.
Yeah, we all gotta keep moving here, man. I think that's
Bam.
that's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are awesome, but everyone else in this community is awesome. Like
Mhm.
we're all just such a really great group of people. So I wouldn't want to say like kick out the bad ones, more like let's show the
Embrace
bad
them.
ones a
Yeah.
maybe a different
Give me
viewpoint.
Papa.
Or
Give me hugs, hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a hug.
Listen, we're just a bunch of crystal hippie loving bitches. This is only the only way we know how to operate is with love and compassion and peace, and that's what I think the world needs right now. And this topic.
Yeah.
Oh, for
love
sure.
that.
I love it. Well,
Unity, baby.
It's such a juxtaposition between the news cycle, the evidence, the Congress people. Not saying that that's not important because it very much is. It's just a different perspective. And when I was watching you guys on again UCR last night, you just said it so well. Like it doesn't mean one's more important than the other. It's that both are very important to the subject. So I think it's cool. But Joe,
We need each other. Let's just say that. We need each other.
Yeah,
Both sides need each other.
Well,
Clothed or not.
Clothed or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pop, sometimes you gotta pop that top up. I don't know.
Sometimes I just like to let the top down and let it ride.
Me too.
Sometimes.
It's probably nothing the aliens haven't seen anyway. So
I was like, yeah, I feel like they have like X-ray vision.
Yeah.
They're pros.
They're like, you're not fooling us.
Pros and pros. Yes.
We've seen it all.
Pros
We've
and
seen
pros.
everybody. Yeah. But we were talking
cavity.
about like this difference between like nuts and bolts and spirituality, and back to the MUFON thing, like the difference between a nuts and bolts recounting of an experience and then like the spiritual aspect. And maybe I personally think that the story is just as important, if not more important, the person's experience to that nuts and bolts. That's just like, okay, now we can prove it to our moms, right? Like the other part, like the spiritual part, the thing that happened to the person, what they went through is the most important part. Like Joe, I think the second topic was like what percentage of these entities or these crafts are we seeing in the sky that, what was it like, could be miscellaneous military?
What is ours and what is not? Even the crazy shit, like the crazy stuff that you see, what percentage of it do you think is ours and what percentage of it do you think is not ours? I think personally that if there are people who have obviously been researching light speed technology and trying to figure out how to go as fast as you possibly can. And I think after all of these years, I occasionally see reports that say the craft is moving at over 9,000 miles an hour. And then I think to myself, well, if we have people who have been researching light speed, 9,000 miles an hour is not very fast at all. And I think if that they were going to have a jump off point or a step to where they would, be able to be like, look, we're going pretty fast. Like, look how fast this is. And they were going to test it. I feel like 9,000 miles an hour would be a pretty good place to start some really, really fast stuff.
Look, guys, we're going pretty freaking fast.
So yeah, I don't know. I have to say, maybe, man, I don't know. Cause I really feel like a lot of it is our stuff.
Yeah. Well, what percentage do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. That's a hard one to say, man.
I know, especially now that
to say. I think it's a lot lower than we think, in all honesty. I think that see, and Bri might disagree with me, but I think that some of the more prominent things tend to be a little bit more government-y to me, and a lot of the more homegrown ones tend to be a little bit more actual sighting to me. I don't mean to say it like that, but I don't know. Sometimes when there's a big hype around a sighting, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What
do you mean? You're like, ooh. When there's a lot of people?
Ooh.
Like when it's sensationalized in a sense. Like when it's sensationalized, when they take a story and they really... Not necessarily even just the TikTok in general, just any story that they kind of run with that they sensationalize tends to not end up being so credible sometimes because it's like they sensationalize it. So whenever I see it in the big news media, I tend to not pay attention to it. I'd rather the smaller stories.
Ooh, it's almost like... Also, I'm hearing a lot of tic tac in the background. I think that's Gizmo, by the way.
It's me. No, it's my dog.
Oh, it's your dog. Okay.
Dancing puppets.
Joe also has a small. Well, we both have small dogs, but
hardwood floors.
Yeah. So I thought that tic tac. Oh crap! What was I gonna say? I got derailed. Sorry.
Big media.
Big media. Oh, it's like the analogy I like to think of is that the conversations when you're in your adolescent stage where you start to make friends or neighborhood friends, or you start to go to school and start having your own trying to figure stuff out with your friends that are your age, and you're like, hey, I learned a cuss word, dude. You can't say it though. I'm gonna tell you what it is, but just don't say it.
Don't say it to anyone.
And you're like, you go home and you tell your mom, you're like, hey, what does fuck mean? And you're like, and you're like, is it a bad word? And it was, what does it mean? No, it doesn't. It's not are you talking about the verb or the word? Yes, it's a bad word. So the big news is your parents not wanting to explain sex to you because it might destroy your childhood, adolescence.
It's like, oh, you're not a child anymore. Yeah.
For now, just
sounds like
yeah.
Just for now, just believe me when I tell you that's a bad word. Just don't say it. That's how the dichotomy feels right now between getting the information from big news and then getting your information from people who actually know what they're talking about.
Well, and not just that, but it's I feel on that same kind of thought, when parents explain things to you, they don't necessarily explain things in an actual way, the birds and the bees kind of stuff. So it's I feel like sometimes they're just giving us a roundabout explanation for things. It's listen, this is what we'll tell you, small child. This is how you'll understand it. You wouldn't understand the big words that we use or what's really going on here.
Yeah. Do you think that implies that the government actually does care about our well-being? Is they don't want to mess us up?
I don't want to say I don't want to say that the government cares about our well-being. I think at the end of the day, I think that there's people who work inside the government that care about our well-being. Let's say that, right? Because there are human beings that work in our government who care and are passionate. But I think the establishment as a whole is about secrecy and control. And I don't think that they're giving us the narrative that they want at the end of the day in order to not necessarily worried about if we'll freak out or not, but worried about what's going to happen to society crumbling. How are they going to the economy? How are they going to deal with people uprising or riots and things like that. So I think it's just something bigger that they're thinking about. The last thing on their mind is, well, are they feeling okay about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically they're worried about crowd control and making sure everybody minds their P's and Q's and society functions, right? They don't give a fuck about you individually. They care about you collectively as a whole. They want to make sure it's running, the cog is moving. They don't care about you individually. Also, hold on. Back on the topic, the percentage of what we believe is theirs and what is ours. I have a little percentage. One side of me says that I think 30% of what we see is probably theirs, and 70% of what we see is probably ours, right? But then the other side of me says, well, I think maybe 80% of what we see is theirs, and 20% of what we see is ours, because I have never sat up all night long and looked up at the night sky all night long. Like if I were to do it for like a day job type thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you don't, you know, like you're outside, but it's impossible to look up all the time. Could you imagine if you could, if you could look up all the time and just like see stuff, like how much stuff you would actually see? I bet it's a lot, and we just don't realize how much is up there.
That's true. That's very fucking true.
Fucking true.
Do you think it depends on who is witnessing it, who's experiencing it consciously? Like maybe the number is skewed based on who's witnessing it, because to that person, they could see something that like I live right on a flight path, and I see orange orbs every night without fail. This same follow track. And I even I got really excited. I thought about texting Joe and sending him the video. I'm like, dude, check this out. And then, I decided something in my head told me to wait. Just wait. Wait till tomorrow. And then sure enough, the same thing happened the next night and the next night. There were planes, but they're so far away that I guess the angle and the time that I usually go out and take my dogs out.
The way the sun's is, the way it's reflecting makes it look like a certain way.
Yeah. Well, you can't see the
like the metal
FAA regulation flashing as prominent unless you have I've got a pretty nice camera. It's not like a not glow in the dark camera, night vision camera, but you can't see as well. That'd be cool if it was a glow in the dark camera.
Yeah, it would be really
would never lose it, but it would. I couldn't see the blinking as well. And that was it. It was just like I had a routine, and it was all me. Like I created this thing, and just because I'm into it, but I'm out there every evening at the same exact time. So yes, like Jaimie, like the sun is at this exact spot. So it's kind of disturbing my perception of these lights. And I don't know, I think it does depend on who is viewing this stuff, because if a person were not to have that discernment and wait a couple days and make sure, then they would firmly believe that they saw UFO. And then human ego comes in and somebody says you're wrong, and then your automatic transaction for that thing is like, I have to protect my ego. Like, no, you're wrong. So then you self-fulfill this whole thing. So it's tough.
It seems like that happens a lot in the UFO community in general. It's like people have these experiences. You have a bunch of people who say, I don't believe that to be true. And they go into this defense mode where it's like, well, now you're questioning my beliefs. This is something I know that happened to me. How dare you make that? So I think that sometimes experiencers get a little bit of a bad rep because it seems like we come off aggressively, or we have these very stern ways or ideas, but it's like you're literally trying to it's basically telling me that if I believed in Jesus Christ, you're walking into my front door telling me, well, Jesus isn't real. That's the person you think is your God is not real. And so it's like, well, wait a second, hold on. We're going to argue with each other because you're going in against what I believe. So I think that we have to take that into consideration when we're questioning people about what they've experienced.
True.
Definitely.
You can't mess with someone's experience, man. I tell you that.
Well, hey guys, we got about 5 minutes left, so I want to get into some of Jerry's final thoughts.
Who's Jerry?
Who the fuck is Jerry?
This guy. The Jerry Springer.
Oh,
You guys never seen the Jerry Springer show? Jerry's final thoughts.
wait, what's that little
That
Someone
when you
in
bring
the
the pizza
chat-
out?
what's that hedgehog
Sorry.
with bat wings back there?
Someone in the chat, Chris Holmes said, "Who's that little fat guy?" This is the Jersey Devil.
I like it.
So when we were doing Cryptid Corner for a while, we were drawing the cryptids before we would do the episode. So we did an episode on the Jersey Devil, and this is my interpretation because I can't draw, but I could draw circles, and I like little fat squishy things. So
I feel like you should make a little like plushy pillow out of that thing.
Right?
That'd be so funny.
oh, so cute.
Does it have little horns? Is that like lamb ears? Like basically a lamb with like bat wings. Oh, that's all right. That's cute. Love that.
Who drew
Little
it?
buddy. I did.
We did.
And I painted it.
I like it. You're an
Yeah.
artiste.
We like to do art.
We got
I
little
see
fat-
that.
Our wall is full of art.
Yeah, I can see all your finger paintings back there.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, this one's my. I'm not going to.
That looks like a UFO painting.
Be careful.
That
It's a
is-
UFO.
This is a terracotta painted. Wait,
I like
Mhm.
it.
That looks
hold
dope.
I
on.
like it.
We get creative over here.
I love how you just like refuse to break eye contact.
Because I'm making sure that
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
no one donate
I
right
forget
now,
with
please.
Topless. I forgot about it.
Or
Whenever you
everybody.
donate, my name goes down. So I'm like, please don't donate.
Do
Just
it.
kidding. Do it. This is my little Joshua Tree UFO.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Mhm.
Isn't that cute?
Very talented
That's
fingers.
very-
you got.
I'm just gonna. We'll put those back
Just
later.
we'll
You'll put it back
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unless
man.
someone donates $100, then she'll put it away right now.
Oh,
That's
shit.
right. That's right.
Fresno night. I'm not going over there.
We should
This is
do
my Fresno night crawlers that are behind.
we should do a extraterrestrial painting with a twist where we all paint thing and then we
Yes.
donate it to whoever.
Yeah. Donates the most? Yes.
Genius.
But it,
Do it.
but we'll also be
Genius.
shirtless.
We'll be shirtless. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll have some wine.
Yeah.
We'll have some conversations and we'll paint. I love that.
Heck yeah.
That's what I like to do, baby boo.
All right. What we totally blew over Jerry's final thoughts.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Joe.
no. Hey, we only got a couple minutes left, guys. Like I was saying earlier, this is going to be, totally topless. Topic Tuesday is going to be a short episode that we're going to be putting out. It's going to be anywhere from about 30 minutes to an hour, so it's a little quicker. It's a little bit more put together, and it's less, rabbit holes that we go down. But before we get out of here, on the very first Totally Topless Topic Tuesday. That's a tongue twister. What do you guys think, man? Did y'all have a good time?
Oh, it was
Yes.
awesome.
This is
I feel so
fantastic.
free.
Anytime you guys need guests on and you don't have anyone, you don't want to do it by yourselves, call us. We're in.
Yes.
Awesome.
We'll drop
Awesome.
our top for y'all any
We'll
day.
drop our tops for you guys any day.
And this is totally open to anybody out there that if you want to come on Tuesday, just hit us up, give us a message. We're going to be reaching out to people. We don't know who's going to be interested and who's not going to be interested, but what is going to be interesting is finding out who is interested. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yes.
It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. Well, Bri Jaimie, this has been a great evening. Thank you.
We
all
love
so
you guys
much for
so
coming on
much.
tonight.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for sharing your opinions on
you.
the
Thank you,
topic.
Sensei.
And we'll have you back on very soon.
Anytime,
Awesome.
anytime. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you
We'll
so
see
much.
y'all later.
I did it again. I'm sorry, Jamie.
You did it
I
again.
did it again.
It's okay.
Okay.
Oh man. Well, not bad, dude.
Sorry.
Not bad for our first one, our first totally topless Topic Tuesday, man.
Topless two topic Tuesdays.
That was good stuff, man. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, that was I love those gals. They're dear friends. And dude, when we were having that conversation, I mean, this all started so randomly with actually started with William. William posted on Facebook like a live video of him like, "Hey guys, check out the show tonight," and he was shirtless, like, and I thought that was hilarious. So we were like, when he did his show on the channel, I was in the chat like, "Pop that top off, Willie. What you doing?
Yeah.
dog? You're advertising this and giving us not what we give the people what they want." So I mean, I had fun with that, and then our buddy
Tony.
Tony hopped on. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
and he was shirtless, and then and then like I brought him out, and then we're like, hey, how funny would it be if we were shirtless when he came back on? And so it just became this whole thing. Just giving some background for people that are just joining and have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I think we got something fun here, dude.
It's gonna be a thing, dude. Every Tuesday. You guys will get to catch us twice. You'll get the short version on Tuesdays, and then you'll get the long version on Thursdays. Sounds pretty good to me.
I like that a lot.
And we're also going to be starting to add short stories.
Short stories. Yeah, we did. I published the one on the podcast. Haven't gotten much feedback on that. So guys, if y'all are fans of the show and started on the podcast side of things, and maybe you're just a subscriber on YouTube and had no idea we had a podcast. I mean, I'd love some feedback. We're just trying some new stuff. We love doing this and talking about aliens, UFOs, aliens, all things. But we're trying to push the envelope with a couple of things. And I think that new episode, like, it's a 5-minute episode. Like, get to the facts, have a little bit of fun, and you get to hear Big Willie's amazing, silky smooth voice. So,
yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, sweet, dude. This was a good one. I had a good time.
Me too, man. So what do you want to do now?
Well, now I'm gonna get out of here, take a shower, and get ready to go to bed.
Oh, I want to keep going though. I'm excited.
That's what Thursday's for.
I can't.
You're missing the entire point of Tuesday. You got to leave the people wanting more.
Oh my gosh!
Like the Mandalorian with their goddamn 15-minute episodes. And the Book of Boba Fett, this shit pisses me off so bad.
Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett's like 15 seconds long.
It's
pissing
terrible.
me off. It really does feel like they're 15 minutes, but they're like an hour.
It's terrible.
They're like an hour, but they feel like 15 minutes. I don't know.
Because they're so good.
They're so good.
All right, dude.
All right, bro.
I'm about to sign off.
All right, dude.
Hell yeah. You guys have a good one, man. Talk to y'all later.
Goodbye.
UFO Garage.